PIP steps. We move on to step 1, document performance issues. I know Ms. Rajeshwari will highlight this. Cannot emphasize enough the importance of documenting. We have the tendency of having conversations and going, yeah, I dealt with it. And then the call comes to our office and we've been asked to help on a performance issue, and you go, did you go through a review with the staff? Yes. When was that? Oh, 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, 4 weeks ago, 6 weeks ago. Oh, great. So you've got it documented. No, I spoke to him. Okay, so you spoke to him. Was anyone there? No. I just spoke to him. Great. That's fantastic. I don't believe you. Right? It's not hard that for you to have the conversation, for example, you and I go through a conversation. All I have to do, if you want to create a habit for yourself, all you have to do with that is reaffirm it in a paragraph and send it back to her and say, further to our conversation recently, just want to acknowledge, or we confirm, we've gone through this point, this point, this point, this point, this point. At least you've got some documentation, right? But don't go through the process and say, no, I spoke to them, I spoke to them, I spoke to them. That will not work. And no doubt we will, we will be emphasized on this whole point in a little while. So identify KRAs and existing shortfalls, align to the company objectives and business performance goals. Step 2, meet with the employee and review the performance plan. Identify the performance plan both ways. And also be realistic. You cannot expect somebody that is performing at 50% to within a month be achieving 100%. Be realistic as well. Give them a gradual period to improve. That improvement could be at a month-on-month 10% increment. Be realistic. Develop an action plan and timelines. The action plan, and this depends on your business entirely. What are the variables? What is the activity that needs to take place? I link it back to sales. One concept that I practice or I'm a firm believer of is lean management, right? Lean management on sales, we need to go through and identify and look at what activity needs to take place every day, right? In financial services, when you're selling insurance, real estate, you go knocking door to door, or you have exhibitions, etc. You need to make cold calls. So on a daily basis, if I'm supposed to make 50 cold calls, then the next day, I'm reviewing, I only made 20. So 30 was missed. Now I need to adjust the balance of my period of performance to bring that 30 deficit into my performance now. I need to readjust my timing, right? If I've knocked on 20 doors, I need to knock on another 10 more doors the next day. So identify the action plan and the timelines, and also be realistic with the person. Okay, you only knocked on 20 doors. Can you knock on 30 doors tomorrow? Don't say, you knock on 100 doors tomorrow. Because knocking on 100 doors on an average of 5 minutes is 500 minutes. At 500 minutes, that's a whole day gone. So we need to be realistic as well. Monitor on agreed revised position, right? With this here, I'm in two minds. I need to explain myself on this. Monitor on agreed revised position, which I just highlighted, was based on a performance. If somebody is achieving 50, you want them to improve to a portion. You increase them gradually with certain activity. However, at the same time, do not reward, and a lot of businesses have this practice, do not reward poor performance with a revised position. Let me explain. One very clear practice, and I have my friends from Intune here as accountants, one very common practice is, and right now in Malaysia, what is the most common terminology we're hearing? It's a soft market, it's a soft market, it's a soft market. The economy is bad, asteroids are coming down, and everything is going to be destroyed. We're blaming everything possible. So what majority of organizations are doing now is, that was my budget, I'm now going to revise it. Right? So essentially, that is the wrong message that's coming from the board. And the message from the board is, no, that's okay. You only achieved 60% of your budget. So what I'm going to do is, instead of you doing 100 million, now the budget is 80 million. So for me, as a person, as an employee, I'm now going, hey, that's not bad. I did 60 million from 100 million, now I'm 60 on 80. Hey, my percent, I'm performing really good. Fair point? So be realistic on that level as well. That do not revise your position to reward poor performance on that. Because you are then setting yourself up as a benchmark the following year on what the market conditions are and what the economic conditions are. Because I may have the opportunity, and no doubt we can go through this in Q&A, I may have the opportunity of testing you. Last year you reduced my budget. Why can't you reduce my budget this year? You know, in a sales environment, many people will focus on sales, will use that as a defense. Hey, last year, you know, we were doing this, it was that. I think we should be doing the same this year. So be very wary and be very careful in how you address that. Follow up and record discussions. No doubt Ms. Rajeshwari is going to go through the mechanisms of that actual discussion, the format, the agenda, the quorum, right? It is critical that it is recorded. How it gets recorded will also be emphasized. Then you go through a PIP conclusion.